So I posted a video yesterday. Actually, a friend of mine sent me this video from the Joe Budden podcast uh, yesterday morning, and it was talking about producers, producing the talking about producers and artists. What does the agreements look like? And um, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was really interesting. So I said, let me post it on my social media and, just to get other people's thoughts on it. And to my surprise, um, both of the videos on my TikTok and on my Instagram, they have, they have took off. So and I wasn't expecting it, thinking maybe just a few people was going to tap in, but it has over right now over about 15,000 views, um, over 100, almost close to 200 reposting of it. And the conversation has been mixed. The opinions and thoughts have been mixed. Um, and it's ironic that my homeboy, shout out to my guy Sharif Chauncey, who sent me the video. It's ironic that he sent it to me because we was just having this conversation a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I had been having this conversation with a few other people that are in the music industry and other producers just about the climate for producers these days. So I posted the videos, and the responses have been great. And um, I will say, for me personally, I do agree with it to an extent. But then there's a part that I don't agree with. The part that I do agree with is, as me as the producer, I own half of that song. I own half of the composition, right? 50% to the writer, 50% to the producer. What I don't agree with is um, having to send me the song to get me to sign off for it. I think that's a bit much. I've never done that unless the artist wanted to send me the song and wanted me to hear it, and just to kind of get my spill on it. But to um, for me to have to sign off on it, nah, I've never. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think what I summarize it, my whole summary of the video is this: is that there's a lack of education, education in the producing community. And if I'm gonna be honest with you and just transparent, in my 20 years, that has always been my what I want to say, my lack uh, of knowing or doing. I've been blessed to work with a lot of artists, um, but you know I'm from the old school. Everything is, come on man, let's work, and you just get to the work. I was, and the time that I was starting out, physical CDs was still a thing, so the money was, artists were making money, right? But then I came through the era in which and most of us are coming through the era where streaming started to um, overpower that. What I'm saying? That's no longer no physical CDs. Everything is on streaming, which whether it's not Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you're listening to, a Google Play, whatever, that took over. So I understood that with the streaming coming in, the artists were not making any. They wasn't making any money because physical CDs were going out the window. So every time something happens like that, now me as a producer, now I have to adjust. So I've always been focused on, just getting that upfront payment, right? Um, even when you go to my website, buy the beat, whether and I like the exclusive, and I'm gonna get into the word exclusive in a little bit, but I tend to like to sell exclusively to artists. I'm not really big on the leasing, but I have learned not to knock leasing because I got some producer friends that are doing really well, leasing beats, to each his own. But I've always focused on the, getting the upfront money. And I have 10-year working relationships with a lot of people. I've worked with, some artists for years, and there has always been that just, hey, I like this joint, I'm sending you the payment. Um, but maybe back in June of last year, I actually had an artist friend of mine, mainstream artist. He told me about a website called Sound Exchange. He was like, "Hey Marv," he was like, "Man, listen, you ever heard about this company called Sound Exchange?" I'm like, "Nah, man, what is it?" He was like, "Well, man, you can get paid off your music, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." He was like, "Matter of fact, once you go register, once you go sign up and register the song, I've already registered the song that we did, and you can collect off of that." And his statement to me was like, "Man," he said, "with your catalog, you probably got thousands of dollars there, right?" So as I started going through the process and, getting into it and understanding and learning what it's about, and for those that may be listening that may not be aware of Sound Exchange, as a producer, Sound Exchange it's a platform where they pay artists. So it's like ASCAP or BMI or CSAC, but they tend to pay out for the radio spins. You know what I'm saying? So if, like, for instance, if the artist is getting played on X Sirius Radio, on a certain radio station, the radio station would pay for the song. They have to report the songs to Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange cut you a check, right? So, um, and to my surprise, I had no clue that they had this company. And supposedly, Sound Exchange has been around for over 20 years, and as a producer, I had no idea. And I'm sure there's many other producers that didn't have a clue about it. So as I started doing some homework and started really looking into it, I'm like, well, man, I need to try to figure out how is it, I don't want to say is it possible, but how can I be able to collect? So I start to run into some had some run-ins where I was claiming on some songs that I did, and they were being rejected, right? So talked to the certain artists, and it was kind of explaining it to me, and then I kind of just left it to the side, right? I kind of, once I because I, at that time, still and all, I'm still not really realizing what the company, what it's designed for. So I was talking to another friend of mine, and the conversation came up again. So I started to digging into it a little more, and they was like, "Nah, man, blah blah blah. This is you're part of this, so you should get this." Technically, yes, but this is where the hangup is. And before I get into the hangup, let me explain what the word exclusive, in my opinion, from a producer's standpoint. Exclusive means that if you buy a track from me, you have exclusively bought it from me, meaning that once you purchase it, I can't go back and resell the track, right? Um, but that doesn't mean that I have gave you all the rights to the song, because by law, technically, as a composer, I own 50% of that. Now, this is where it starts to get sticky. The wording in the contracts, and I will say, um, you know, that lack of that due diligence of making sure paperwork is done. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I've worked with a lot of artists and don't even have paperwork. We just have a solid relationship. But at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to backtrack on it if things wasn't set in stone from the beginning. So that can bite you in the long run, right? And there's some situations where, at me as a producer, is unless I can have unless I have conversations with the artists that I work with, and I'm sure I've already started having conversations with a few guys, and we've been coming to some understanding, and the relationship is the relationship that we have musically has kind of what's the word I want to use? Uh, Maybe give a little leniency, to say the least, to kind of be like, well, man, yeah, bro, we've been rocking for a minute. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And as a Christian, you know what I'm saying, and me working and me being a producer and mainly working in the Christian field, you know what I'm saying. I technically, I mean, I just really want to be able to, not have to go these hard legal routes, you know what I'm saying, hoping that we can just come to an understanding. But at the same time, Christian or whatever, Christian or not, it's still a business. And what I've got out of that whole conversation from the Joe Budden podcast is that if the paperwork is not done correctly, you know what I'm saying? If it's not worded the right way, or set up in the right way, if y'all didn't agree on this from the beginning, it will come back and haunt you. It will come back and haunt you for sure. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's just the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? If it's not set up to where you have these stipulations. Okay, yeah, well, okay, this upfront is going to be this, but then I want a percentage of this. Or now that sound exchange is a thing, now that needs to be in your contract. Hey, well, listen, if you register in this joint, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, that needs to be set in stone. Um, and going and that was another thought. Oh, just the education of knowing. I think sometimes we get caught up in the music and just want to make the music, and that's a good thing. But if you're making this a part of your business, something that you want to benefit from, eat off, like myself, we're gonna have to do better. You know what I'm saying? We're really gonna have to do better going forward. Um, I've been talking to a couple of producers. I think something that's necessary. I think that we should have a producer union. I've heard a lot of industry producers talk about it in the past. I heard Sonny Digital was talking about doing a producer union. Hit Boy was doing a producer union, and that's good. But man, you're talking about industry. You're talking about these industry producers. I'm like, man, how would this benefit the indie producers like myself? How could that become a reality? And I don't, and maybe it's a wishful thinking that I have. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's situation is different. The way a union works, everybody has to be on one accord. You know what I'm saying? And it is always hard trying to get people like-minded on one accord. Some people may feel like, well, hey man, look, I ain't really got no problems. I ain't got no issues. I'm good with that. So what happens uh, uh if we don't have everybody going the same way, then it makes it hard to from a producer standpoint say, okay, well, I'm gonna demand this. We need to do this. We need to do that. You know, from a producer perspective. Um, and not just so much of, okay, this united front and we ain't taking this stuff no more, but being able to educate as well. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but some years back, I did like a producer conference doing South by Southwest in Texas, in Austin. They have the South by Southwest festival, and I did it. I did the I did a conference, a producer conference, where it was bringing producers together, producer friends that I knew that are in the business. Giving insight on how to, and just trying to build that camaraderie and that unity, and educate at the same time. So you know, being a producer advocate has always been like, you know, in the backfield for me, I think. And I think in 2024, we need to be able to figure some things out. Again, we have these opportunities where we're able to uh, a lot of producers is getting into sync placements, sync licensing, all these different opportunities. Like I say, Sound Exchange has been a benefit to the actual artist, which is a good thing, man, because when COVID hit, it shut everything down. So I'm not knocking, that the artists are able to benefit from it, but us as the producers, as the beat makers, what I'm saying, we should be able to benefit from it too. So in order to do that, we got to be able to start to get some things in order. And man, as we get into this year, you're gonna see more and hear more things from me on that note, on that point. Um, and man, I just hope that you know we can somehow, some way, just start to do things in decency and order. So I am definitely, for myself personally, I'm gonna be on I'm gonna be adamant and making sure I'm refreshing myself on on all these contracts and different things that are going on, man. Making sure that I got fresh contracts where it's going to benefit me and the artist. You know what I'm saying? And that we can go on and function, man, and be able to just make good music. Because at the end of the day, that's the main goal. At the end of the day, that's the main goal, is to make good music. And we don't want to allow money to be a hindrance of that. Because one thing I know for sure, man, God has given everybody the ability to create. You know what I'm saying? It's a gift for artists to go in the mic, to go in the studio and get on the mic and spit without writing anything down. It's a gift for you to sit down and write a joint, you know what I'm saying, on a certain topic. It's a gift for a producer to sit down in front of their dog on their laptop or an iPad, and just get to creating. You know what I'm saying? And we're required to use our gifts. Um, but man, we have an opportunity to, that our gifts will make room for us. So I think in 2020, I believe in 2024, we need to uh, better educate ourselves, start to get things in order so we can all be going the same way. And again, I'm 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 praying and hoping for a producer union. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see it come into fruition. From definitely on the indie side of it. You know, um, what does that look like? What that entails? I would love to know. If you guys got any thoughts to it, man. Would you like to see that? You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to get on here and just give my spiel on the video, man. I appreciate everybody that checked it out, that commented on it. Like I say, a lot of people agreed, some people disagreed, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But we need to be able to come together and be able to make it make sense for all of us. All right. So, man, I hope this video blesses you guys. Like I say, I'm gonna be hitting it. I'm gonna be more tapped in on the subject on this crusade of doing better business as producers and as artists, man. So we can get to the business. And the business is making good music to be able to help a generation that needs this good medicine through the music. All right, it's your boy More for More Beats. Please like, share, and subscribe. You need beats? Check out the website. You need drum kits, need sample kits? Holler at your boy. Website is in the description. And it's going to be on the video. Man, y'all have a good day. Grace and peace.